Greetings, everybody. You are watching Rob's MetalWorks. And as the man here would say, everybody, welcome to the show. Yeah. Dude, I got with me the boogie man, Mr. Jason Kane and Nick Jive of the band Jason Kane and The Jive. Gentlemen, if I'm going to do something like that, you know I'm having a good time.
It's good to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having us, man.
Oh, God. You know, I've been wanting to do this interview for a while. And so much to talk about, you know. And I was telling you off camera, dude, I'm just a fan. You know, I've kind of been a closet fan, you know. And I'm watching and what you guys are doing and obviously listening to all the great music that you guys have been putting out these years here in San Antonio. First of all, let me ask you, how are you guys doing in this crazy time that we're living in the pandemic?
We're making the most of it, man. We're getting started on the fourth album and then doing music videos periodically and doing the live shows. As much as it can be a show, we're still like recording. It's not the same. You know, when you end a song and there's no one, you hear nothing and you just got to go to the next one. But, you know, we just keep releasing stuff out and working on the next stuff. We got enough for at least, like 3 more albums?
Oh, God.
Maybe.
At least, yeah, I would say at that point. You know, just from songs we've been building up over the years, just been recording, and we're still writing during the pandemic since we can't do too much for the live shows. It's the one thing we can do, what we have control over, is just writing and recording, and then we got a lot of older songs that we're going to keep recording too. And
Black Buck Studios at Black Buck with their buddy Spencer. And he's found the sound of the jive, and we're just going with it, man. Killer.
Black Buck Recording House. But you know, kind of personally, have you guys been doing okay too? I mean, I think that's where I was going. You know, I think, you know, we all have been dealing with the pandemic professionally in our own ways, but too, you know, personally, it deals with our psyche. You know, is the pandemic giving you more motivation to write darker stuff, or is it leading you in a certain direction? I mean, there's some people who, you know, you see all these posts on Facebook about mental health. There's some people who are just like dive into their work, like it seems like you guys are doing. Then there's some people who are just like, you know, turning it off. You know, they're going into they're floating and or going through some kind of depressive states and stuff like that. Do you see it kind of affecting you in any negative way personally?
No, if anything, it made us want to do it even more, like even harder. Just in like, you know, of course, when it first happened, it was kind of a blow when it was like, oh, we can't do the CD release or the tour for the new album. But at that point, I was like, okay, we're all being locked inside. Let's release some new music. If people are gonna be locked inside, give them some rock and roll to jam to, you know, like if I make the most of it and then get started on the next one.
You guys have, you know, slowly but surely, I think in the last, you know, 4 years, kind of been building up the band Jason Kane and The Jive. And you know, as I was telling you off camera, you know, I kind of keep my tab on the pulse of the scene and what's happening. And I remember I was telling you that the first time I came across your name, Jason, was when I saw you do a show with Las Cruces many years ago. And we'll talk about that later. But and then later on, I saw like, oh man, this guy's, you know, doing his own thing, which is great because I love to see talented people express themselves the way that they want to. You know, sometimes when you join an original band, they're telling you what to do and you got to do it. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, sometimes young guys like you have to start off that way, you know, in order to kind of get your foothold into the scene. But I was really glad to see you kind of come into your own. And then when I heard your stuff, I was like, holy smokes, this is like unlike anything that's happening in our scene. Like, it's not like this heavy metal. It's more like this really funky, bluesy, fucking boogie rock shit. And the thing I love about that and what you're doing is it's so diverse and there's so many different elements to it. It's not just one thing going. I hear your tracks and it's not just like one riff and the bass player's playing the same riff and it's marching forward. There's like so much sonic landscape in what you do. And that's the beautiful part about it. So for those people, I mean, I might have alluded to, but for those people, if someone came up to you and said, man, what do you call your shit? What are you doing? What do you tell them?
Hellacious boogie rock and roll. That's what we call it. That's what we call it.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of scattered everywhere. It's funk, it's blues, and it's rock, and it can be metal sometimes. But when we first started here, a lot of people are like, "Oh man, you gotta do metal, you gotta do covers." No one makes it here unless they do metal or covers. And that was beaten in my head at a young age, and I think I was just like, well, fuck that. Like, I was like, I don't want to do that at all. I mean, no offense against the covers or the metal. I love it, but, man, if I'm going to do music and do something original, have it be from the heart and, like, believable. You know, don't want to put on an act. As much as I love doing the covers and metal, you know, it's just, we rather just write whatever comes out. And if it sounds good, you know, it's okay with us, no matter if we can't tag it to a certain genre, you know. But once we started doing that, we started finding ourselves, the sound, and where we want to go.
It takes a little time. To kind of get into that comfortable spot. But I think one of the things that's cool about your story too is that, you know, I've looked into your past, and I know your dad was a musician, which I think is really cool because, you know, you have influences. And earlier tonight I was telling you about my big brother. Obviously, if you have your dad is like, you know, not only listening to rock or a particular type of music, but your dad, you know, was a musician. And, you know, even at your young age, I think you're far more accomplished musically than other 24-year-olds. I mean, and I say that not just like as a guitar player, because I've said this in many interviews in the past. There's guitar players who are like shredders, and obviously you can shred. And then there's guitar players who are songwriters and can write songs but can't shred. And then there's the dudes who do it both. You do it both. So talk a little bit about like when you came to San Antonio and the influence that your dad had on who you became as a musician.
From a young age, my dad, death metal guy.
What?
Yeah, death metal all the way, you know, Bloodbath, Dimmu Borgir. But he was a...
How old is your dad?
About 58, 59. And so
does he live in San Antonio or is he still in Chicago?
No, he lives with us, and he's a guitar teacher here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want to meet him.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a laid-back cat, man. But he was very death metal growing up, but then as I got older, he's like, hey, man, check it out. This is Alvin Lee. This is Rory Gallagher. This is the guitar dudes. And my mom was on the other side showing me Jim Croce and the songwriting. So I got the heavy rock edge from my dad, and my mom showed me the more songwriter type. Yeah. And I kind of spilled over to what we do, kind of like more just, you know, soulful, just jam it out. Sounds good, it is good type thing.
When did you pick up the singing part?
You know, I never wanted to sing. I thought it was lame. And I just wanted to be the guitar player, and I just want to be back here and just jamming. And then it's 13, and my singer left, and we played nothing but Monkeys, Cream, and 10 Years After. And this is like when we were 13. I was like, who?
So when did you come to Chicago? I think I missed that. From Chicago?
Around 2006, 2005.
How old were you?
Man, I was in like 3rd grade or 5th grade or something like that. And
why did y'all move to San Antonio from Chicago?
My grandparents' family. I followed them and stuff. They helped raise me and stuff. And
yeah. Okay.
Like my second parents almost.
Yeah.
Not saying that my original parents weren't there, but they were just also there, you know, as well, you know.
So when you started singing, you know, if you were horrible, people would have said, okay, yeah, be the guitar player. I was horrible. But really?
I
because I think you're a great singer.
Thank you. And I really worked every day. Like, I remember in high school, just every day, people go out and party, be like, dude, we're doing this. And be like, no, I'm fucking going home. I'm going to sing in my garage till I can't sing no more. So the next day came, I did the same thing. But I didn't want to. My dad, I was like 13 when our singer left, and he was like, you know, Jay, you got to start singing right now. So you could write and you can be in control of your own thing. He was like, look at Dave Mustaine, look at Lemmy, look at all these guys. It's because they're the dude, you know? And I was like, well, I started singing. First studio session, I got kicked out. They stopped me mid-session. They're like, come back here. And I went back there. They're like, they're horrible. They're like, you gotta go. They're like, I don't want to continue with this day anymore. You gotta take lessons from this lady down the street. All this trying to tell me this bullshit. And I went home moped for days. And I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna practice every day. I'm gonna go back, finish this shitty EP, my first EP. And then ever since, I just been, even when we released that EP, people were like, oh man, great music, but the singer sucks.
Was that Jason Kane The Jive or something else?
Oh no, that was something way before. It's called.
Is that still out? Is it on the internet somewhere?
I haven't said it.
I didn't find that. I gotta look for it.
It's under Heatstroke. Heatstroke was my first band name, and yeah, didn't do too well, but it definitely pushed me to just keep practicing and keep releasing music. And then I got stuck singing.
Well, I think all the hard work has paid off. I think, you know, one of the things too that I love about your vocal style is very bluesy. You have a nice, clean voice, and you know, you have a great range. And two, you know, I would be remiss not to say what I said off camera earlier tonight. I mean, as much as you. Diversively with your guitar playing and your singing, it wouldn't go down as well if you didn't have a badass fucking bass player who is like holding it down. So like Nick Jive, like, man, I gave you props off camera. I'm gonna give you props on camera, dude. It's like you're just in the pocket, bro. You're fucking supporting Jason, what he's doing. And it's like it gives that little oomph to like the band. So when did you guys get together?
Well, we met up in the summer of 2014 through some mutual friends, and we just started jamming throughout June and July of that year. And then we did our first show August 1st, 2014. It was outside of Propaganda Palace on Alamo Street. And when we finished that show, we came back to our practice space and we said, you know what, we're gonna make this a thing. So that's the day that Jason Kane The Jive was born.
Wow. Yeah. Had you kind of known about him at all, or and also what were you doing before Jason Kane The Jive?
Well, before we had started, I was jamming with those friends. They had came together and they said, hey, we want you to come by our space and jam a little bit, see if we can maybe get something going. So I came by and I thought we were doing pretty good, and then we said, well, we need to find a singer. So our guitar player went out and heard about Jason. We brought him by, and personally, I was blown away. I mean, yeah, I think he sang some Audio Slave, I think, was it? Yeah, he sang, I think, Show Me How to Live. And that one, yeah, nice. And he did some Beatles too, and I was like, this is the guy, man. This is our guy. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, from there, I just knew like, if I align with him and just stay, you know, as a unit, then we can take this somewhere. We can take this somewhere where our dreams can reach.
Yeah. I agree. You're a smart man. I met a lot of musicians in my life, and then there's some of those people who just have that fucking, you know, that spark, that fucking light, and Jason's one of those people. So smart move, man. And I think that, you know, the reason that we're here to talk about is, you know, Soggy Noggin, the band's third record, and this record really, to me, kind of exemplifies a lot of the hard work that you guys have put into your career so far. I think this is the best. I've heard the the first record, the self-titled. Then I heard Hellacious Boogie, and then now Soggy Noggin. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, these guys are just getting better. They're honing their craft. Production-wise, it's getting better. There's, again, with the horns and the keys, and it's so like it's kind of like a musical bombastic type of impact that this music has on you when you really hear it. And for those of you who are real music fans, listen to it. It's like a bit overwhelming. So let's talk about this record. And the first thing I gotta ask is like, what's Soggy Noggin?
We have a song called Wet Brain.
Yeah, Wet Brain.
Before one practice, we got stoned or whatever, and we were like, we were all like making funny comments on Wet Brain, the song name, and the drummer's like, Soggy Noodle. He's like, Soggy Noggin. And I'm like, that is the stupidest, coolest thing I've ever heard. We need to name an album after that. So that's how that came about. It was like the self-titled track, but not really.
Yeah. I get it now. And then the spam fucking analogy with the fucking brain on it. I remember when I first saw the fucking cover work compared to some of your old cover. I'm like, man, this is kind of like spacey. I'm like, they want people to fucking take a look at this and say, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, dude. First tour, right when I met Nick, I was doing the acoustic thing around town, and I went on a few tours before I came back, and we started the band together, right? So on the tour, I was so broke, I only had sardines and a bunch of cans of Spam and no way to cook the fucking Spam. So one day, we're on the side of the road in El Paso, it's hot as hell, and me and the bass player of the band I'm open up a can of Spam. We're this hungry, and we're eating on the side of the road. It's like 100 degrees. There's Spam boogers all over our face, and we're just like, I'm like, you know what? I need to do an homage to the Spam for keeping me alive.
Hey, those are the moments that keep you humble, bro. Don't never fucking forget that. When you get rich and famous, don't ever forget that. You ate Spam in El Paso. God, that's cool. Great story.
Juice in the band.
Great story. But too, like as I was, preparing myself for today, I was listening to, really listening to like the debut and the second record, and it, like I said before, like this record kind of really seems like it's a culmination of all that hard work. How do you feel that you guys have kind of progressed musically as you guys have been together longer, and getting to know each other, and your musical kind of little knickknacks that you guys kind of learn the longer that you're with someone? How has that kind of helped you guys progress musically into like Soggy Noggin era now?
Well, when we first met, of course, I listened to certain stuff, and he did as well. Some artists that maybe we didn't share commonalities with. So when we exchanged that just brought a whole new array of influences into our lives. And what, like Cliff Burton once said, you take in what you hear and it influences you in some way. It can be big or it can be little, but it has an influence and it sticks with you. And I think just over time, everything we've listened to, no matter what genre it is, whether it can be straight up rock and roll, or it could be something as like hip hop even, it leaves an impact on you, and that's found a way into our music in little pieces somehow, and it just adds on to our sound and what it is that we bring to the table.
Have you kind of also too, I guess, like, just like in a relationship, like the longer you're with that person, you're like, okay, I can tell you how I really feel. Has that kind of also too kind of that honesty that you guys have in that musical relationship?
Yeah, we're totally like, we'll be like, nah, this doesn't work. This is why, but we don't mind it though, because we know we both want the same thing and we're at the same goal,
Who's the one that keeps saying, let's get rid of the drummer?
The drummer himself.
Yeah.
God damn it! What the fuck, man?
Don't look at me for that one.
We're not. I promise these guys we're not going to talk about that. But you guys have gone through a few fucking drummers, but who cares? Yeah. You guys are at the heart of this band. Whoever is the drummer for this band, in the long run, Yeah, you'd be a smart man to fucking hook up with these dudes.
Thanks, man. No, it's like it's trying to work our schedule into their schedule. Usually, because we when everything was open, man, we played crazy. Like, man, what was it like Thursday through Sunday every week, and sometimes there'd be 2 shows in a day or something because we need to make money to go on the road or something like that. So then there were shows where no one would see any money, and then people want to get paid and stuff. I'm like, no, it's not about that. Like, you want to go out and rock and roll? You're gonna have to fucking roll, like you're like
roll with it.
Yeah,
and it's not always ideal. I mean, and that's cool, man. I think that's too. Like, I'm gonna get into this in a little bit, but that's one of the things I fucking love about your band and respect about your band. Not only are you doing great music, but you guys are fucking hard workers. I mean, they're not really. These dudes are not releasing EPs or full length records. Okay, so you're writing all this music. 2, you're not just playing in San Antonio. You're touring all over the country. You're fucking roughing it out. You're just doing it, bro. And those are the things that are going to make you big. Those are the things that all that hard work is going to pay off. And those are the things that make you fucking big, bro. And so I'm like, man, these dudes are like real. They're legit. And that's what I love about you at your young age, that you fucking get that. Because, I think, I've seen a lot of musicians, even young musicians, who just become complacent because they can utilize technology or social media, and they don't want to put in all the fucking legwork, bro.
Yeah, the hard work on the
hard work.
The freaking sleeping upright for like 8 hours in a car ride, or
eating cold Spam.
Yeah, eating cold Spam in the sun.
Cold Spam in the fucking sun.
Fucking, you got to go through all that stuff, and then when you do have a good show, and it really makes it worth it. And that's why we go balls out on every gig. Like, we're like, who knows what's gonna happen after this? We're just gonna ape shit right now, because everything else that happened before that, whatever. We got stuck in snowstorms and thought we were going to die a few times. And, like, fuck.
Oh, God.
So it just makes the show even better. And it puts the soul in the music,
Yeah.
But, no, I wouldn't change it for nothing. I like all that stuff. And I think that's what it comes down to. It's like, do you do it because you love it? Or do you do it because you want to get paid? Or do you do it because of this or that? If you do it because you love it, then you don't mind that other shit. Like, you will, you eat the cold Spam.
Dude, I'm a business teacher, and that's what I tell my kids. Don't chase the money, chase the fucking dream. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a fucking certified welder, chase the dream, and the money will come. Everything, all the good things will come. The car will come, the house will come. Everything else will follow, but follow the dream. Okay, so let's talk about these fucking tracks. You see my list here? You see I listed all the songs here, and I have like 8 of the 12 highlighted. That's how many of them that I like. I love all the songs on this record. Machine of Dreams is really, you just come out of the gate fucking hard as, and that's a great fucking song. I think some of the singles, what was the first single?
What was the first single? Courthouse Blues? Or on Soggy Noggin?
On Soggy Noggin.
Probably Chickaboom.
Oh, yeah. Chickaboom.
Yeah, Chickaboom was the
Chickaboom?
Yeah, that was on
That was the first one. Chickaboom and Chains.
Yeah. Chains is a great song. Chickaboom, I would have been like Long Time Coming, Rising Smoke, Chains. I mean, we're all different, but those are my jams, man. Can you guess which one is my jam of all the songs on that record?
Is it Chains?
Smooth Operator.
Holy shit! How did you know?
Funky, man. It's all the funk.
The Smooth Operator, that's man.
Dude, I am a smooth operator. Yeah, that's my jam. Damn, that's cool, bro. I'm glad you got it. That is my jam. But, I love, like I said, Rising Smoke. Dude, The Landing, seriously? What the fuck? Yngwie Malmsteen? Fucking crazy ass. That's like the metal jam. Like, The Landing is like Jason doing like all this solo shit, and it's crazy. I think it's like a minute and a half, right?
Yeah, it's a quick little intro we have.
Dude, that's kind of sick. I think you give it all. But the Chain song too, with the horns in it, that's amazing.
That's probably the first song where we started writing, where we're like, hey man, let's write a song and let's not give a fuck if it's rock or if it's whatever. Like, let's write a song that's just whatever, decent song, whatever. It all sounds good to us, and not worry about who to aim it towards, you know.
Yeah.
So that was like definitely a step in another direction to see if it could flow, especially adding the saxophone. A lot of people are like, man, you guys got a saxophone player and all that shit, being a rock band. But I was like, fuck yeah, you got a saxophone.
And the band just released a video for that track. Again, it's called Chains. We were talking about that video earlier tonight, and who was the guy who did it?
Adrian Hernandez of Upside Sessions here in town. Killer dude, man. Killer. He takes his time on his work. You could tell.
Killer video. If you did not have not yet seen it, go to the Rob's MetalWorks page. I shared it this evening. Killer video, black and white. Great drone footage of San Antonio, and then just like the music. Amazing freaking song. Amazing freaking song. We also have to talk about. I want to talk about the song "Burning Ships."
Lucifer's Friend.
Yeah, I mean it's that's an acoustic kind of thingy, very melodramatic, kind of really focusing on the acoustic and guitar. That track too is killer.
So I recorded that with my pops. My pops is a death metal guy, but he showed me all that 70s stuff. And Lucifer's Friend was one of those bands where I was really inspired my singing. And one time he just walks in the room, and I have my Tascam 4-track sitting there with the tape, fresh tape in that motherfucker, and I'm like, just push record. And he recorded all the acoustics, so everything on there, it's all analog. And then I bumped it to computer, and then we finished the rest. But that's all my dad on the acoustics and stuff.
No way.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I gotta get him on some stuff, man.
What's your dad's name?
Jim Arnelli.
Jim Arnelli. Wow, cool. Next time you come over, invite your dad to come. I want to meet you, Jim. Very cool. And then there was a kind of a track that you pulled off of the second record, the Boss Man track, and that you did with the brass, the Top Shelf Brass. They're from California.
I met them when I got us a gig at SeaWorld, and they caught us jamming. And they were real cool, and I haven't really met any of the other performers there, but this is the first time I met someone, and I'm like, damn, it's a fucking brass band or a total party freaking brass band. Party songs, fucking tuba, trombone, the full thing. And I was like, dudes, you guys know anywhere to play in California? And they helped us on our California gig. Went out there, and we recorded Boss Man. They wanted to learn a song and do a video. And we recorded it all live on the spot, no practice, and we dug it so much we threw it on the album.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I saw the video.
Yeah, that was the first time we learned the song. Like 2 seconds before that, we shot, and then we were like, all right, let's just go and jam it. And we just all melded together, and it was.
That's the cool thing. That's the cool thing. Like, you guys are so good, and they're so good. Like, dude, let's just improv. Let's just roll with it. And everybody knows what the fuck to do, right?
Yeah, like that. It was such a crazy setup because we just went in there and they had the studio set up and everything. They're like, "Hey, man, just show us what we need to do and let's go, man."
Yeah.
And we
bag of joints.
Hey,
no way!
Yep, exactly. And hey, after that, we were set and go. We went.
Stop talking about weed because my mind is going.
But yeah, no, it was a great experience. I mean, they were really cool guys and. Playing with them in that little room and making that song. Yeah. Hey, man, it's on the album, and it's a great memory, and it's going to last for a long time.
Brass band.
Yeah, they're very good.
Props, guys. Good job. Like I said, I mean, there's so many fucking killer tracks on this record. I was joking with you earlier tonight about Rising Smoke. I love that song. And in the song it says, "Smoke is rising," and then the song is called "Rising Smoke." Why are you trying to brain fuck me, man?
Do it. You gotta make them think. Like, what is that song? Smoke is rising. Rising smoke. Then you say it. You gotta say it twice.
I think to me, like the big singles were "Rising Smoke" and "A Long Time Coming," and then "Chains." Great songs. But again, I have to reiterate. You guys are like putting out like these full-length records, like that's kind of like people don't do that anymore. Like bands aren't doing that. They're like putting out 3 or 4 or 5 song EPs, and people are talking about, oh, the industry's changing, the attention span of fans is not that much anymore. Why have you guys kind of decided to stay with that format?
Yeah, I just realized that this year actually that bands don't do that anymore. But I like, because we have so many damn songs that I'm like, let's get them out. Let's gotta get this off my chest, man. Let's get it out, release it, and then work on the next stuff, because we just constantly write all the time. So it's like, man, let's just pile them up, release them. I think this 4th album, we're gonna release them like singles, and then once they're all out, we'll release the CD as a full thing. But yeah, we have about 4 songs done for it already for that one, so it's on the way. But
the business, the industry's changing, and like I said, I've interviewed several bands this year who we're talking about an EP, 4 or 5 songs, 3 songs, and it's just like hey, it's a way to keep our name out there. We don't blow our wad all, in one shot. But yet, these are bands who are like stay local. These are not bands who, unlike you guys, are like fucking traveling all over the country and really supporting a full product. So I think there's pros, and I think there's cons. And I think the pro for you guys is that you guys are like a full-time band. Like, you're working hard. You're young, and so you got a lot of gasoline, and you're fucking putting it out. And dude, if you're feeling it, and you can fucking generate and write, and then put it out there. Yeah. Put it out there, right?
Release it. Especially since all this stuff happened recently, it makes you think like, man, there's no time to waste. Like, get it out there while you can. And who knows what's gonna happen? Things can change in
a heartbeat.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, we wrote this. Fuck, we're gonna go next week. Let's release this shit. Like,
okay, we're gonna talk about that, right? Before we get into your new music, we were talking about we talked about the video for Chains. Great video, great fucking video. But you guys have done, I guess, because we're in the pandemic, or bands are doing like these live streams and stuff. I saw the live stream that you guys did, the full show for like who did it? Like Inside? What are they called?
Upside Sessions. Yeah, and it was the same guy who did our music video for Chains, Adrian Hernandez. He was the one who directed that whole live stream that they set up for us. And
where did y'all shoot that at?
That was shot at the Vibe Center downtown.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was cool. We were joking about your saxophone player. The guy that just comes out of nowhere and fucking straight off the streets and fucking throws his sax on and starts throwing down.
Straight at the mechanic shop, man.
Yeah!
Like,
hell yeah. Steve! Take off your work shirt next time, bro.
So Billy Joel.
Fuck yeah. I thought it was a music video. I was like, did he wear that shirt on purpose?
He does. He wears it at the shows and stuff.
He's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm doing Jason Kane's video.
Yeah.
Hey, but he kicks ass.
Oh, yeah. He just improvs the whole time, that guy. Very cool. Different than most horn players, like I said. He approaches it more from a rock stance or a blues stance. Like, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to fucking come in when I can and, wail out.
That's so cool, though. I mean, that you were telling me, like, he went on the road with us. He plays shows with us, and he helps out in other aspects with the project of Jason Kane The Jive, and that's awesome, man. That's great. You need people like him, and to provide that dimension. I was remiss not to mention one thing about the Chains video. and which really caught my eye, and that was the fact that I think up until the Chains video, I had never seen you sit down in front of a keyboard and sing. And I don't think I've ever seen that in any other video. Is that true?
Yeah, no, that's the first one where we were doing it. I'm not playing guitar in that. I do like the rhythm, and I have another dude, Joey Villalobos, and he's doing it, and he's great. But I didn't know, because I don't know how to play keyboards. I don't even know what I'm playing. And so Nick is so good. He just comes in, throws it down. Thomas throws it down. And I had Joey come in and just be like, dude, I don't know what I'm playing, but if you could add something on top of it, like, that would help fill out the song. So same thing with Smooth Operator. It's just, I'm like, all right, guys, this sound cool? You guys dig it? All right, let's try to build around this. And, like, who cares if we don't know what we're doing? Like, music theory-wise or whatever.
Right,
you know?
right.
Just jam it.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of music. I mean, you can be as abstract as you want, and you never know what's going to catch on. I mean, how many times have we seen, you know, some of the simplest songs become fucking mega famous type of riffs that we all fucking love, you know? And that's great. I mean, the spontaneity of it, the organic part of being a musician, I think, is beauty, you know, because you never know what's going to hit you. You never know what's going to hit you.
Yeah, whatever comes, especially with this album. This is the first time we did all live.
Oh, wow.
So everything is all at the same time, except for the vocals, maybe saxophone. We dubbed some stuff over, but the nucleus of the song is all live together.
So where did y'all record Soggy Noggin?
At Black Book with Spencer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who's the guy there?
Spencer Ramsel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And how did you kind of hook up with that dude? How did you kind of build that relationship?
He caught us live and really dug what we were doing, how it's kind of stripped down 3-piece. And then he was like, we have some free recording time. Let me try you guys out. And then I was like, all right, let's get the keyboards to get a full band. And then we weren't 3-piece anymore, but we ended up finding a new sound. And he really dug it, and we dug it, and we just worked together so well. He's such an easy guy to work with. So
that's the sonic landscape that I'm talking about. That's the depth that I'm talking about.
He's the one that added the soul to this album, really.
Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, there's nothing like recording live. You know, you could do it through the computer with the fake simulated amps, but it got no soul. You know, you got to do it right there in the room, looking at each other, doing the oh fuck face. We might fuck up here, but you don't. You know what I mean? Like, that's... All right, not this guy. He's a one.
I was gonna say, like, Nick never does that because he has his sunglasses on. He's all cool.
He's one take and done. I'm like, oh shit, fuck, jumping around everywhere. But yeah.
Oh god. This record, I know, has gotten a great reception. I'm glad that as a journalist, I'm able to jump on board and show my support for this record. But you guys have gotten a lot of great press from all over, you know, written press. I saw the article today from The Current that came out today, but you guys have gotten a lot of press these past few months about Soggy Noggin. How does that make you feel that you're finally kind of getting a lot of that recognition now?
Oh man, it's we're loving it, dude, because that's what we always wanted from the start. Was especially, I was telling you, we love, like, that we're on the show. We have a chance to be on Rob's MetalWorks and The Current. And it's the first time we've gotten love for our own home city, and we've gone out and, like, stood up for Texas rock and roll. Like,
yeah.
we're in New York or whatever. People, we're like, I'm from Chicago, but I'm like, no, this is a Texas band. We're Texas rock and roll, and so to see love from our own city and, like, you know, to know that you guys dig it really means a lot to me and us, you know, like, it's really cool. And, I mean, I love that the UK caught onto it.
Yeah.
They got onto, and Barcelona, just by, I don't know how, but, you know, I love that they're listening to it. But to get it from San Antonio is like something special for me, like really special, you know.
Have you guys, you know, it's become less and less relevant, I think, for, you know, because, you know, we live in a social media era, the internet era. and we can do a lot of, you know, DIY stuff, but is getting a deal or having a publicist important to you?
We've tried it, and every time the deal just doesn't seem right. Like, we don't feel right going into it. I'm like, okay, this guy's doing something that we're already doing, and then he wants to take a cut, and I'm like.
But this is the thing, though. And I hear you. But this is the thing. Like, for example, I think you guys would be served well if you got a real publicist. Nowadays, like, you know, bands can manage themselves, but the publicist person, of which now, you know, back in the day, you know, record labels had their own publicists, and now because, you know, they're streamlining what they're doing, that, you know, publicists are contracted now. So I feel like Jason Kane The Jive could greatly benefit from being contracted to a publicist, because that publicist is networked like all over, you know, dude, and their job is to get you interviews and get your music out there. But obviously, you know, it has to, you know, it costs money, and but I think that that's just part of the game now. It's just part of the system now. I'd love to see you guys get more recognition, you know, over across the pond or in South America or whatever. Again, because I think that your music's that great, you know. I'd love to see it happen.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we're pushing it as much as we can, and so if we can find a publicist that doesn't charge us an arm and a leg, or there's not like we would love to work for you, but you owe us this much to get started. Yeah. Usually that's the case, and then we're like, whoa, what is happening? Like, you know, kind of turns us off. But we haven't found anyone that really believes in it to where they would actually, you know, do it like we have, you know. Like, so that's the tricky part, is finding someone that we could trust.
Yeah.
Or maybe I was gonna trust producers.
Yeah.
I
mean,
know.
yeah, I think
we're like, is a good word.
We're always willing to hear what people have to say, and what, like, if they're coming to us for something like that, like, we're willing to hear what they have to offer, of course. But, you know, until we find the right deal, you know, we'll keep doing what we're doing. But when that time comes around, if it's good for what we're doing, then we'll go ahead and explore that.
That's what Nothing More said in 2009. Now look at them.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
As shitty as this year is for live music, it's kind of forced us to find another way to get the word out there, which we weren't doing with the other two albums. Like, we weren't trying to get it reviewed or anything, which might have helped us if we did. But, you know, this thing kind of forced us to do it. And maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Who knows? It's a pretty crazy blessing. But it's like, you know, it definitely helped us look at the music at a different point of view.
And I totally agree with you. The back end stuff is just as important as the front end stuff. But the thing at the same time is, like, you know, I'm not gonna say, Jason, you know, focus. You're like, oh man, I gotta focus on all this business stuff and, you know, booking and fucking publicity and all this stuff, and when really you should be focusing on writing music and being the artist and the musician and letting other people do that, you know. Yeah, that's the, you know, the grand picture. That's what we all want. But until you kind of get there, or pay for it, you know, while you're still an independent artist, then, you know, it kind of leaves you to, like, say, okay, you know, my publicist is handling that. I don't have to fucking deal with, you know, all kinds of shit. I can focus on music, which is, like I said, what you should be doing. Let's talk about lyrical themes about this record. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Because I'm like, I listen to this record, and sometimes I'm feeling happy and groovy, and then other times I'm like... So, tell me a little bit about... some of the, I mean, if you had to sum up Soggy Noggin lyrically? What is the holistic theme for this record? Like, what was your feeling when you were writing this record?
It's all just how the way we lived and things we all gone through, or maybe some of my friends, they tell me something and it inspires me. I'm like, wow, to feel that way behind those eyes or whatever, kind of put it in their shoes, and then you write it down. But it's just all life experiences and stuff going on around me. Like Machine of Dreams is, we were in Vegas and I couldn't go out and party because, man, what the fuck? I can't gamble, man. Like, I need that. And so I was staying in the room all pissed off and seeing all this fucked up shit on TV. And that's when I wrote Machine of Dreams, talking about the TV. Like just putting on crazy bullshit. And, Chains. That's about losing my job, losing a bunch of things at the same time.
Oh, really?
Being in a shitty place, and that's when the band had to first be like, yo, we got to do this as a job. But we didn't treat it like a job. But
that's awesome that you share that, because I think there's a lot of people going through hard times right now, economic times, or, family issues. I had a family member contact me and said, man, I'm having problems at home. And I'm like, oh man, I've been there. I feel you. And we all deal with our struggles individually. And I think the thing that kind of sucks is that we always like to try to keep them private. Like, we don't want nobody to know that we're struggling, right? We just want to keep it secret. Yeah. And I don't know, man. I mean, if you guys are my brothers, if you came, and hung out, and I would talk to you about real life shit. That's what I tell people. I'm like, intimacy is how you really build friendships with people. When you tell them your darkest secrets, when you tell them your real pain, when you tell them how you're suffering, or when you're happy, what makes you happy. When you hide those things, when you hide those things from people, then those are people you have shallow relationships. Yeah, those people don't really love you. Yeah.
And I don't mind saying being over dramatic on something, on a feeling or whatever, just to get the point across. We've all felt like partying. We all felt really shitty at times. Like, fuck it, just say it how it is, because it's human. It's organic.
So after this interview, you're gonna tell me how you grew that mustache.
Dude, my job, man, they laid me off on Christmas season, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna grow this thing, see what it looks like. I came back.
Well, they didn't want you to have a mustache?
No. They're like, it doesn't look good. I was like,
doesn't look good? Why the fuck do you care?
It was like dirt on my face at the time, so it didn't start growing in. But when I came back, I was like, motherfucker, I'm back.
I'm not gonna tell you how many people message me like, talk to him about his handlebar mustache. I'm not doing it. The pandemic's affected us all, and I remember as I was, going through your page, there was a lot of shows that were scheduled for June in the summer, right? All those shows got canceled.
Yeah, like, because of everything that happened. We actually had probably about a week and a half before everything got shut down completely, at least on our end over here in San Antonio. We had our CD release show and our whole tour planned out and everything canceled out. So unfortunately, all that had to go to the wayside. And we did have some stuff planned for the summertime, and yeah, that all had to go away. And of course it sucks, we love to play live, so I mean, anytime you have to cancel a show, that's one of the hardest things you can deal with, especially when that's what you live off of. But hey, that just told us, hey, do what you can. And so that's why we've been recording and writing as we have done, and we're gonna keep doing that for as long as this is going on, until the live scene comes back. When the live scene comes back, oh, we're gonna hit that stage and we're gonna be
Oh,
running our ad. We're gonna be Tarzan and all over that stage, you know, doing what we can to give people the best fucking rock show they've seen in a good long while.
How bad are you itching to do a show?
Fuck, hey man, if I have to pull a flea and go up there with wearing just my bass, man, I'll fucking do it. That shit. Hey man.
Hey, your bass isn't that big, bro.
All right, man. You know what? I can't say nothing, but let me just say this. Hey,
You'll be hanging out.
hey, if it's bigger than the bass, hey, that's all I'm saying.
I'm having such a fucking great time with you guys. So let's do a shot. I don't think I've ever done a shot with a band during the fucking interview. We're doing it. Hell yeah. Jason Kane and The Jive. Don't forget, everybody, it's called Soggy Noggin. We're about to have a Soggy Noggin here in a little bit after this shot hits us. That's not Jack. What is it? Is it Jack? Guess how long has it been since I drank Jack? Delish. Yeah, I mean, a lot of bands have had to cancel shows, and that sucks. So hopefully the pandemic will slow down. I'm hearing good things about what's happening in San Antonio, that the numbers are dropping, people are okay. When things kind of try to normalize, is that the plan to fucking get back out there?
We're just taking it day by day right now, and just kind of if it doesn't, we're ready for it. We got enough stuff, and approaching it pretty much now the online way.
Yeah.
Which I know it's kind of lame to say, like just being worried about the online, but it's like for a band like releasing music, you know, the whole thing is playing shows, but we can't. So it's like we got a bunch of music videos coming out and a bunch of trying to do the reviews and shit like that just to keep it out there. So hopefully, man, just more music videos, more songs.
Yeah. You guys play all over the country, and I can't express how respectful I think it is that you guys are fucking out there doing it. What are some of your favorite cities to play?
California.
Like where in California? North? I mean, that's a big state. Where?
We're L.A.
Yeah.
L.A. and then Chicago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. First, New York was fun. New York was, man, they were probably just about as surprised as us when we were playing, which was cool, because we didn't know if they were gonna like us. We had to open up. We went on after this piano dude, and he's all like smooth jazz and shit, and we're about to go up there and just get all crazy. And I was tripping out outside. I was like, dude, we can't do this. I'm like, we're going to have to start off with a soft song or some shit.
Yeah.
This dude came outside. He's like, you in the band? I was like, yeah. And I'm like, man, I'm kind of freaked out. I don't know if they're going to like us because we were kind of heavy. He's like, no, dude, go fucking crazy. And so that's what we did. And then they loved it. It was probably the one of the best reactions we had on the road was New York, Chicago, California, Vegas. Vegas was interesting, but fucking, Indiana, they were cool. Wisconsin,
Yeah.
somewhere we didn't expect was like totally open to the rock, and I don't know.
That's great.
We were floored by their response. There was people that were like, "Man, we heard you on Spotify.
Yeah,
We came out here
like
3 hours away."
Yeah, in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, there's a place called Black Circle Records. They are some of the greatest people we've met on the road, and they've hosted us with the absolute greatest expectations and everything. And we want to give them a shout out because they've been absolutely the best to us.
And my family in Berwyn.
Of course.
Yeah.
Berwyn and Cicero in Chicago. Hey, you guys, we love you guys, man.
Yeah, Tony.
Oh yeah, Tony, that's for you.
Yeah. Give all those people love, man, because when you come back out, they're going to be out there again supporting you. Okay, gentlemen, tonight we have alluded to the fact that, we're here talking about Soggy Noggin, but you guys are recording new music. I saw the video of you guys recording at Black Buck House Recording House. You guys are staying busy. What's the plan for new music already? Like, will we see something new from Jason Kane and the Jive in 2021?
Not only will you see new music videos, but a new sound.
No, really?
Yeah. We're always changing. So we're getting even more funkier, more dirtier, and then we're getting even like it's more experimental with other shit too, like kind of going in the change direction of writing, and then also going in the dirty rock and roll. We're just gonna be a
You're at both ends of the spectrum.
dirty gumbo of rock.
That's a great word. Gumbo.
Just a dirty.
Really?
Yes, just there's
Didn't you say earlier, like Rob, we already have like 4 songs written?
we have 4 songs. The whole 4th album's done already, and we have 4 songs already recorded, and the other songs already written, just ready to record, and we have more after that. Just because I was the last album had a lot of songs, so we're gonna do less songs on the album. Still a full album, but just less songs, and then keep releasing after that. And we're just
That's great. That's great, man. So maybe like 4 or 5 songs on the new one.
8
8
songs.
Good number. Yeah. So when will that come out, you think, or when do you want it out?
As soon as we're done shooting all the videos for Soggy Noggin, we'll start pushing that. But we already got album artwork and everything.
But that's next year or this year?
As soon as we can, really. How many? We got like 2 more music videos for Soggy Noggin, then we'll start on the 4th album, start pushing that. Single at a time.
Yeah, if you can, if it doesn't happen by the end of this year, you can expect it sometime early in 2021, for sure.
Well,
That's what we're.
I was gonna say, like, the self-titled came out in 2017, then a year later, Hellacious Boogie, 2 years later, Soggy Noggin, and so this one's it was like 2018, 2020. So now this one's gonna come out like really quick. Yeah. Well, I guess we're in the pandemic. You guys are working.
After that last one, even though I loved having different musicians come on board and help, landscape the songs and make them even, broader of a sound. Like I said, like we don't want to waste no more time. Not that it was a waste of time, but I just don't want to wait a whole year or 2 years again to release some new stuff.
Sure.
So we're just gonna keep rolling with it as soon as we can. Like.
Sure. Why the fuck wait? Because
Chinese democracy.
Dude, when you get exactly. Great analogy. I tell my friends all the time, my friends who are my age, I'm like, dude, like we're getting old, bro, and we're getting older every waking moment, and we never know what's gonna happen. You guys, you're in your 20s. You don't think about getting sick and shit. People like me, like we're older dudes, and I've met a lot. I know a lot of people, musician friends, old school thrashers, fucking family, who are like they're just getting sick, and things are happening, and it changes your perspective on life. And obviously, you're not focusing on your art. You're just focusing on being healthy. Right. So like fucking. Go full throttle. What I'm saying is go full throttle while you can, right?
Totally.
So, gentlemen, I think we've covered a lot of ground tonight. Is there anything I missed? Anything you want to talk about?
So we got the new music. We're finishing up the music videos for Soggy Noggin. And spreading the word. When this shit is done with, man, we're gonna go out there and tour all over as much as we can, and we probably won't stop after that. I don't know, because we set the path last year, for this year. But now it's just waiting for us to get back out there. So hopefully soon you'll see us playing live. We rocking you again, and new material. We got the 3rd album.
4th album.
4th album. Yeah.
4th album.
Shit. 5th. Nah, I was kidding. No, but yeah. Dude, Rob, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for having us. I can't tell you enough how much we appreciate it and how much I've been a fan of the show since I moved to San Antonio. I would see Rob on TV, and, I'd be going to school the next day. Man, it was like 3rd grade. 3rd grade?
Oh, God.
So I've been a fan for a while. I've seen the show, and, it's great to be here, and I'm glad you like the album. And
young man, it is my honor to have you here. I mean, it's because of people like you that I continue to do what I do. You're such an amazing talent, and you too, Nick. I mean, you guys together. I know that. I said that earlier. Nick, any last words?
I just want to, thank you for bringing us on. I mean, anyone who, of course, knows Rob's MetalWorks, he is the utmost gentleman. He's been absolutely kind to us the entire time we've been in contact with him. He's been absolutely amazing. Anyone who's a fan of San Antonio metal, local music, it doesn't matter. Follow Rob MetalWorks. He is the best at what he does. Check out our page, Jason Kane The Jive, and give it a like if you like what you're hearing, and just keep supporting local music, man. I mean, we're gonna keep doing this until we drop dead, man. This is rock and roll, and we're gonna keep it going until the wheels fall off, brother.
Yeah! I hope you didn't say that because you took a shot of whiskey. Just kidding, my friend. It is my complete honor to have you guys. Like I told you off camera, I'm a fan. I'm a fucking fan of Jason Kane and The Jive. I listen to your shit like every day, and I jam it. And, you know, smooth operator. Yeah, that's me, you know. Great record. I'm glad that I had an opportunity to support it, and all you people out there should look for the record right now after you watch this interview. It's on all music outlets. Jason Kane and The Jive, Soggy Noggin. Download it, buy it, jam it. Rob's MetalWorks supports it. You saw Jason and Nick of the band only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.